Happening right now in Washington, D.C., members of the National Transportation Safety Board are listening and questioning investigators about their reports on a near miss at Austin's airport.
Southwest aboard. FedEx is on the go.
Now, this is a simulation of what happened on February 4th, 2023. You hear the air traffic controller tell the Southwest pilot to abort taking off the same runway where a FedEx plane tried to land. The FedEx pilot eventually did what's called a go-around to avoid a crash. Basically, the pilot flies up, turns around the other direction, and then lands on the cleared runway. Investigators say air traffic controller cleared both pilots to use the runway. But why? KVUE's Eric Pointer joins us down the studio with new details on this investigation. Eric.
Yeah, Jenny, investigators told NTSB board that, weather was a big problem that morning. There was a dense fog reducing visibility, and here is the NTSB's animation showing what happened that day. The animation does not show the weather conditions, but gives you an idea of what happened. The control tower is about 3,700 feet away from the runway. The air traffic controller granted Southwest Airlines clearance to take off, but at the same time, investigators say the controller had trouble seeing where the plane was on the taxiway because of those foggy conditions. The air traffic controller also cleared the FedEx pilot to land on the same runway. There were two problems with this. First, investigators say the Southwest pilot took longer than expected to take off. And second, the FedEx pilot had trouble seeing the Southwest plane again because of that fog. The first officer on the FedEx plane saw the white light and silhouette of the plane because he looked out of the window. The NTSB chair asked the pilot if that was normal.
You're using your situational awareness. FedEx is obviously aware that Southwest is on the runway, has been cleared for takeoff. The controller asks Southwest, are you rolling? Southwest says we are, and FedEx is getting ready to touch down. Just human instinct. Yeah, I'm looking out the window too, see what I can see. If there's an airplane out there, I need to know about it.
Now, once the FedEx plane got close, the air traffic controller told Southwest to abort takeoff. But instead, the FedEx pilot did that go-around that Jenny mentioned. The belly of the FedEx plane came less than 200 feet from the tail of the Southwest plane before that go-around.
So, Eric, if investigators say weather was a huge problem, what did the NTSB board have to say? How did they react to that?
Yeah, so board members praised the FedEx pilot for avoiding that possible catastrophe. Board member Michael Graham admitted that he was critical of the Southwest crew and their air traffic controller for their actions that day.
We had two aircraft come within less than 200 feet of each other, and that shouldn't have happened. I'm very glad we're talking about a near miss today and not the other result that could have happened. We could be talking about a tragedy. I'm pointing out that the system failed in this event.
Investigators also said that Austin's airport does not have surface detection equipment to help see through the fog. And they said that flight crew and controller qualifications, fatigue, and tower staff were not the problem that morning, but the board also seemed to question those findings as well, Jenny.
All right, Eric Pointer joining us in the studio. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. And while the NTSB gets closer to finalizing that report, the Federal Aviation Administration has already taken action toward making Austin's airport safer. The airport has a new modernized tower simulation system to help train air traffic controllers. This summer, the airport is set to get new surface detection equipment so air traffic controllers can see better what's on the runway in rough conditions. The FAA is also trying to recruit more air traffic controllers to help fill the shortage at Austin's airport.